Did you know that sudden changes in weather could take your perfect hiking trip and turn it dangerous in just minutes? In this video, you'll learn how weather can significantly impact your hiking trip and how to prepare for it. Many hikers underestimate the weather, leading to unexpected challenges like storms, extreme temperatures, or sudden changes in conditions. We've all been there. You forgot to check the weather forecast. Or maybe you did check it, but it was just plain wrong. Either way, your meticulously planned trip just went from fun to miserable. We'll explore different scenarios that you might encounter: rain, heat, or crazy winds. Rain sounds pretty basic, right? But it can wreck your trip. Getting soaked, or worst of all, a wet sleeping bag, could take your experience from uncomfortable to downright dangerous. Especially when you're at higher elevations, rain usually comes with a drop in temperature. When everything's soaked, the temperatures have dropped, and nightfall comes. You might not even be able to rely on the ability to make a campfire in order to warm yourself up. Now the temperatures have dropped, everything is soaked, nightfall is here. You haven't been able to start a fire, and you could be risking hypothermia. This is how you stay safe. Take your rain jacket. No matter what the weather forecast says, this is a necessity. Especially if you're in mountainous terrain, storms can appear out of nowhere. If the weather forecast already called for rain on your trip, there's something else you should be taking too: rain pants or a rain skirt. I really like rain skirts, but my friends do make fun of me, so that's a risk you have to be willing to take. A rain skirt or rain pants, in addition to keeping your upper body dry, now you'll be keeping your lower half dry also. If I know my trip's gonna be rainy, there's another piece of gear that I take with me. This piece of gear can keep everyone in your party dry.
That piece of gear is a tarp.
I got my tarp on Amazon for about $30. I'll put a link to the tarp that I use down in the description. There's one more thing that I always take on my rainy hikes, and this one's for comfort. This piece of gear is something everyone knows: a hat with a bill. Being able to keep at least some of the rain off of your face, whether you're just trekking along, you're trying to set up your tent, or you're trying to go to the bathroom, is hard to beat. Next up is wind. High winds are no joke. High winds can take out your tent, chill you to your bones, and even take out trees. If you're liking this video so far, give it a like. And subscribe if you want to see more hiking related videos. If you end up out in a windy situation, here's what you can do to make sure that you're not blown away. That rain jacket we talked about before, it's going to come in handy again. Rain jackets are also great windbreakers. Next, make sure you have extra guy lines for your tent. They don't have to be attached to the tent, just make sure they're in your tent bag. Along with the extra guy lines, you'll want extra stakes to use them. The farther you stake out your guy lines, the more stability you'll get. Just make sure you don't trip over them. Bring something like a beanie to cover your head. We all know that a ton of heat escapes through your head. When it's windy, this is exaggerated. Having a hat or beanie with you is going to help combat the heat loss from the wind. You've made it through your windy day, and now it's time to pick a campsite. Make sure when you're looking for your site, you pick somewhere that there aren't snags. A snag is a dead tree. Last, and also my personal least favorite, is excess heat. There's nothing quite like hitting 10,000 foot elevation, expecting a nice rush of cool air, and all you find is heat. On a hot sunny day, heat exhaustion, sun poisoning, and dehydration are 3 risks you run. Here are a few things you can do to keep yourself safe. Take a long-sleeved sun shirt. This is going to keep the sun off of a large portion of your body. It can keep you cooler and prevent sunburn. Sunscreen's great, but it only lasts so long, and if you're anything like me, you forget to reapply. Next, take breaks. Anytime you find a nice spot of shade, take a quick break. Even 1 minute of sitting in the shade can let your body cool down and catch up. This one's huge. Drink more water. It sounds simple, but when you're out there putting one foot after another, it's really easy to forget about.
So what's the key takeaway here? It's that preparation is crucial. Packing appropriate gear can make all the difference. Even though you should always check the weather before you hike, don't rely on it. Dress in layers and make sure they're the right layers for the trip that you're on. If you found this video helpful, be sure to check out my other videos on hiking essentials. In the comments, share what you take with you hiking to brave the weather.